So what do you do when you go away for a long period of time in the middle of the summer and you have to water your yard? Well, in the past, it was never an issue for me. I never had so many freshly planted trees because I didn't freshly plant them in the summertime. It's normally something you do in the winter. So this year, I'm going away. And I don't have anybody to water my yard for me while I go. Normally in the summer, I will water my yard every other day, every 2 days, once a week, depending on the plant, depending on how warm it is, how humid it is. Basically, I just water when necessary, and that's it. But I'm going away. I'll be gone for 2 weeks in summertime. So I have to have somebody water my yard, and I don't have who to water for me. So I set up a watering system. And as you can see, the birds are enjoying it because that piping popped its little plugs that says it's only supposed to get 2 liters an hour. And that is one of the reasons why I do not like an automatic watering system. They're not reliable. I am more reliable than an automatic watering system. The system cannot tell if there's enough water. It cannot tell when water is needed. It will only provide water when I tell it to, whether it's needed or not. So I have this set at 6-hour intervals, 2 liters an hour, except for these bins. These bins are getting 1 liter for half an hour because for an hour they were overflowing, which makes me wonder, was it really only 2 liters an hour? Because I can't imagine that this would be overflowing. I mean, I don't know if you can see there's water. Do you see that water line? If this is 2 liters an hour and I've got it on for half an hour, in this heat over 40 C, I have a hard time believing that we really would have excess. But okay, that's the way it was set up. What can you do? This is better than nothing, right? So seriously, why do I not like watering systems? Automatic watering systems. There are a number of reasons. One, they're unreliable. Oh, look at my hair. One, they're unreliable. Sometimes the plugs pop off. Even if you have them click, 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 sometimes there's a burst of water pressure that you're not expecting, or sometimes they get clogged. If they're on the ground, they get clogged. My mom used to have a watering system and it got clogged all the time. Sometimes the pipes come loose. I've had that happen where I've got connecting pipes and they've come loose, and they've come loose even though I have taped them together, with electrical tape very strongly. You can't really gauge how much water they're getting, nor can you control the difference, the different amounts of water from one plant to another. Yeah, you can choose a 4 liter an hour, 2 liter an hour drip. That's about it. But let's say that a plant only needs watering once a day, but your system, you have some plants that need watering twice a day. Unless you have them on different systems, which means multiple systems, it doesn't really work. Something's getting overwatered, something's getting underwatered. In my particular yard, I had to set up 3 separate watering systems. I have 250 meters of piping. I was in shock. I was in shock when I discovered that 250 meters of piping, and I've got the little plugs only where I need them. They're not coming out evenly spaced along the pipe. I only put the plugs where I need them. Oh my gosh. That was a lot of work. It took me time. It took me days to do because I did it in the cool hours of the day and in addition to the rest of my work. But I got it to work. It's not going to be running all the time. No, 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 no. It is not going to be running all the time. It is only running because I am going on vacation for 2 weeks and it is the middle of the summer. This past week we've had over 40-degree temperatures, 40-degree Celsius temperatures, and it's forecast to go on. I don't care, even if it was 30-degree temperatures. I would prefer my vegetables to get watered, and I would prefer my strawberries to get watered. I only water when I need to, and I give a deep watering every couple of days. Some plants require more watering, you know, like the vegetable bins require more watering. But my trees need a deep watering once a week, something like that. Still, I really don't like the idea of having a watering system. I do not believe that it saves money. I do not believe that it saves water. For my example here, look at that. There's water down there. This is only supposed to be getting 3 liters of water once every 6 hours. 3 liters because I've got 3 drip holes and it's on for half an hour, and those are 2 liter an hour drip holes. So for 3 liters, once every 6 hours in this heat, and I still have down there, to me, that is getting overwatered. It's not saving water. The plants are getting overwatered. I'm allowing it though because it is really hot. But when there is no real heat, that's just ridiculous. And you can't really judge it. You can't really. The computer you can put on for once a day. You could put it on for twice a day. You could put it on for once every 3 days. But again, when you've got so many plants and so many varieties like I do, I can't have a dozen different computers running. I need, to have something pretty much set. So I do not believe that you're actually saving water. I do not believe that you're actually saving money. It is very convenient. That's all it is. It is a convenience. It is something that is worthwhile only if you're not going to get out there and water your yard yourself. If you're not going to water your garden yourself, then get a watering system. But if you're somebody like me, I'm always out in my yard. Even when I don't have time, I will just go out. My entire yard, it takes me about an hour. Everything, front, back, sides, everything, animals, everything. It takes me about an hour. So, and I've got a lot of stuff cram-packed in here. If I cannot afford to spend an hour every couple of days in my garden, there's something wrong with how I'm scheduling my time. I generally water either in the morning or in the evening. Different plants have different needs. Some plants, you don't want to get the leaves wet. In fact, I don't get the leaves wet for any of my plants because they're mostly dryland plants and they do not like to get their leaves wet. But when I'm out in the morning and I'm watering strawberries, yeah, I'm gonna pick the ripe ones and I'll eat the ripe ones straight off the plant while I'm watering. The same thing with my blueberries, the same thing with my blackberries, the same thing with my cherry tomatoes, the same thing with my baby carrots, the same thing with my, my little peppers. I'll even pick a fruit off the tree and eat it as I'm watering. So I use my watering as snack time. I use my watering as thinking time. I use it as relaxing time. I use it as a time to get to know my plants, and I get a feel for my yard, what's necessary. I learn a lot by watering myself. You don't get that when you have an automatic watering system. And in fact, many times people have an automatic watering system and it'll stop working for whatever reason. They don't even notice it until their plants are dying. It's like, what happened? Well, duh. It's like you got to pay attention to it. I once had an automatic watering system like years and years and years ago, probably like 14 years ago. And it was always clogging up. It was always bursting the pipes. It wasn't watering like it was supposed to. It just wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. So after about 6 months, I gave up. When that particular summer season was over, like, I didn't even bother with the following season. I just went back to watering by hand. And that was a smaller yard, so that would take me like 20 minutes every couple of days. And some days are cooler than other days. You don't need to water on those days. An automatic watering system places you out of touch with your garden, whereas watering yourself keeps you in touch with your garden. But I'm happy that I have this right now so that I can go on vacation and not have to worry about the water. I do have to worry about whether or not it's actually going to be working. But I do have a peace of mind knowing that, okay, it's better than not having one. And we'll see what happens when we get back, how well it did. So I'll check back in when I get back.